15 minutes after 10 o'clock last summer, Scottish model and mum Elaine Harris cycled nearly 1,000 miles from John O Groats to Land's End in 14 days. It was the start of an amazing journey that would take her, an optician, and a retired dentist from Orkney to the African island of Cape Verde, where they carried out hundreds of treatments worth around £40,000, and they did it all for free. Why? Well, let's find out. Elaine joins me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Also with us in the studio this morning, retired dentist Stuart Little, who made the journey too. Morning, Stuart.
Good morning.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. Elaine, how did this all come about?
So in 2006, I actually moved to the island of Sal in Cape Verde, and I lived there for 4 years, and my heart fell in love with the island. I left there and came back to Scotland to have my daughter, who's now 5, and when she was only 2 weeks old, we started going back out on holidays. When we started going back out, I heard about this wonderful little charity called Castello de Sal. It's completely donation-led, and it helps around 80 children ages of about 6 to 12 years old. So to begin with, it was very simple things like taking out toothbrushes and toothpaste. And as I got to know the children, I wanted to do a bit more. So we did a Christmas present run for the children, taking out arts and crafts, spending time with them. Simple things like lots of pants out, flip-flops. And again, then it was a case that, yes, what else can I do? I was looking at the children, and they do have a link for emergency for a doctor, but nothing for a dentist and optician. And I just couldn't imagine my daughter being in pain and not being able to get any help. So I realised then that I would need to do something rather crazy and very challenging to be able to raise money to then possibly take out a dentist and optician to the children to help them.
And how did you go about raising that cash?
I had a Facebook appeal and a Just Giving page. Now, for the cycling, I came up with the idea of cycling from John O Groats to Land's End. It was a very kind of flip-away comment, which then became a reality that I had to do.
Were you a cyclist?
No, not at all.
You are now.
Well, I've not been back on a bike since, let's put it that way. So yes, I left, and everybody thought I was crazy. I think I had about 4 practice runs before I left, so really zero experience. I was also doing it solo, and so naive really that I booked to go the wrong way. So most people do it from Land's End to John O Groats. I was doing it from John O Groats against the headwind pretty much all the way down to Land's End.
I thought that was downhill. I assumed that would be easy. It doesn't work that way.
I wish it did, yes.
How tough was it?
It was tough going. I kind of thought that, I wouldn't be very good to start off with, and I would improve over time. I'd stop for, nice lunches. I'd meet other cyclists. It was not like that at all. Literally, I set my alarm for every hour to have a 5-minute break, and that was about it. Minimum amount of time in a day, it was 9 hours, maximum was 15 hours. I came off the bike twice. I didn't help that I was cycling partially with the brakes on for part of it.
Oh, that's interesting. And you've literally not been back on a bike since?
No, I haven't.
Oh dear.
But I did complete it, and that was it.
Well, that's the amazing thing, is you completed this. So what kept you going?
I had different bits and pieces to keep me going. One of the things I started doing was, so many people were getting involved on Facebook, so I was updating it on Facebook where I could during the day, and the followers were growing and growing, and just their comments of support was really good. Then I started doing, with people that I met along the way, were then doing videos saying "Go Elaine," where they were from, and their name. So this then grew, and I got ones from around the world. Even Warrington Police one day, when it was raining so hard, they did one, and it was silly things like that. And
you couldn't let them down, could you?
No, and then the kids were sending messages from Castello de Sal on the beach, and just seeing their little faces and knowing that, it was all for them, and that's what makes it worthwhile.
Hey kids, got to Bristol but gave up. Couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
Couldn't really do
got
that.
Got the bus home, yeah.
Couldn't really do that. How much did you raise in total?
So it was about 2,450. Yeah.
And that paid for the trip, basically, to go out there.
Yes.
And in terms of what was there, the facilities that were there, why was it so important to concentrate on what you did, on optical and dentist? Just lack of facilities there.
Also cost. So an average wage there, you're looking at about €200. And to see a dentist there without any treatment is around €50. So that's, a quarter of a wage before you even look at any treatment. So a lot of the people there end up, if they have a sore tooth, they keep on until they're in so much pain and then they get extracted. Now, as for or just don't see a dentist. As for the optician side, it's around €40 to see an optician there, but glasses can be about 3 months' wages. So it's just not viable for so many people there.
Tell me about some of the people you helped when you went out.
So it was mostly the kids at Castelo de Sal, and there are just such wonderful children. It really did melt Stuart and Wendy and I's heart when, we were extracting teeth, stingy drops in their eyes, and they were still coming back to give us a hug and thank us. And that really, there was a tear in their eye quite a few times with that.
So much them. Right, well, here's Stuart.
Yeah.
Stuart, retired dentist.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for your time this morning. How did you get roped in?
I've done a number of volunteering trips with a dental charity, DentAid, and I had just come back from a trip to Nepal, and DentAid got in touch with me to say that they'd had a request from Elaine for a dentist, and was I free, could I go? And I went.
I know if you went,
yes.
But first time in Cape Verde,
Yep.
No experience of the facilities there. How did you go about doing what you had to do?
Well, I'm reasonably used to working in non-clinical situations. In my former job, I did a lot of domiciliary dentists for housebound patients or folks resident in care homes. So I'm used to working in people's kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms,
Just making
whatever.
the best of any situation.
Yeah, so you take what equipment you can with you. DentAid fortunately gave us some excellent equipment and materials, and we set up in a room with a table, used the table as the dental chair, and away we went.
And what were you doing?
We were trying to concentrate on the preventive side of things, but because there was so much needing doing, we had a lot of extractions, fillings, some cleaning and polishing of teeth, but we were doing a lot of preventive applications of fluoride to try and stop the kids from getting more decay in the future.
It must be really rewarding for you, because there's something kind of extra about, you worked as a dentist here, and very important job, but when you go there and you help people who only maybe get one chance at that education that you are offering them in terms of their dental health, or fixing a problem that wouldn't be fixed otherwise, that must mean a lot.
Yes, it's very satisfying. It was also important too that we were working with the staff at the charity and training them up into how to teach the kids to do the toothbrushing, and showing them how to apply the fluoride varnish. And we've left a supply of varnish there, and we hope to get some more to them in the future so that the preventive side can be carried on.
So some good smiles there that weren't there before.
Yes, that's very satisfying to see somebody happy and comfortable after having possibly been in pain and had abscesses for a long time.
Was the one that you dealt with in that situation who'd been in pain that you were able to give them some relief?
Oh, a lot of the kids had been in pain for a long time, and we saw some of their parents and the staff at the charity as well. And as Elaine was explaining, it's far too expensive locally for these people to get quality dental treatment. And so, we saw lots of smiling faces the next day. And as Elaine said, we'd be doing some very uncomfortable dentistry on kids one day, and they'd rush up the next day and give you a big hug, which doesn't happen too often in
Doesn't happen at home.
NHS practice in Scotland. No.
I can imagine. And Elaine, you took your daughter out with you as well.
Yes.
What did she make of the whole experience?
Well, she spent a lot of time there. She thinks of it as her second home already. I mean, I started this all really, the charity work as well, to show her how lucky she is, how privileged her life is. And I was amazed by how much empathy she showed. She was actually out of choice, although I did have a childminder for her. She wanted to be in the clinic every day. She was great with the children, colouring in, playing with them, bringing in the next patient. And I'd definitely say that she's brushing her teeth just that little bit more.
Paying a bit more attention.
That's great to hear.
Yes.
It's a bit of double education going on there, wasn't there? That's good. The hard thing often in these situations is when you come away and you're aware of the problem that is a problem there every day. It's hard to walk away from it, isn't it, as well? So you've done this. What happens next?
So the thing is that I got so much support with this and we've done it now. So it's definitely going to continue. I'm looking at doing this again for next year, bigger and better. The amount of people that got involved to help, obviously Stuart, Dented were fantastic. Wendy Wager from Opticians at Home in Edinburgh. And she came across, and it was amazing. When I called her, she thought it was a hoax. But she actually had the equipment for testing in people's houses that was actually made for testing in Africa. So she came across with that, and we had Maud from Hislop Optician. She donated all the frames. Optical Labs in Edinburgh, they're doing all the lenses for free. So we have such a great team now, and more people want to come on board and help. And if there's anybody out there that can help as well, we want to make it bigger and better for next year and help even more people.
What a great project. Well done to you both. Thank you very much indeed for coming in and seeing us this morning. Elaine Harris there and Stuart Little, retired dentist from Orkney. Good to meet you both. Thank you. It's coming up to 10:29.